And so the score at this stage is 21 points to 18 in favour of Galway, and that translated into the scoring of the full game is Galway. There's the final whistle. Galway are the champions. Galway 2-15, Limerick 3-9. And look at that for excitement. Look at that for excitement. There may be protective fencing, there may be this, there may be that around Croke Park, but who could blame the Galway followers who have waited since 1923, an All-Ireland final that for reasons was in fact played in 1924. They have waited all that time for this day.
For a county with such a passion for hurling, the sheer joy and relief of Galway players and supporters in 1980 was understandable. Losing to Kilkenny in '79 brought Galway's tally of losses to 11 out of 12 final appearances. That solitary victory was in 1923, Fado Riamh. The intervening 57 years is a litany of heavy defeats and hard-luck stories, along with a failed expedition into Munster in the 60s. Jim Power, in his 100th year as he spoke, remembers the 1923 final well.
It was a terrible hard game. Terrible hard. The score, that was a big score. I know. The first score Galway got, Mickey made the captain. He was playing on the half-back line, I remember. That was very far away from the goal post. And the first ball he got, he went through the whole Limerick backs and scored the goal. He gave a great start to the Galway team. And by God, they all got down to it on the spot. And for score, there was no runaway business at all about it, but it was a very tough game. And Lennon McGrath had a lot of mercy on him. He scored 3 brilliant goals, I did. Well, that's some scoring. And Bernie Gibbs and Ding Morrissey and McKinney was the other score, and Ignis Harvey. There were 7 goals scored. Galway scored 7 goals, but they did. And Limerick scored about 3. So that was some hurling. That year, at the county convention, when the county secretary was reading out what it cost to win that Ireland. But he read out one item on the programme. £4.10 expenses on team after winning that Ireland. Well, they nearly brought down the house, but they did. And the man sat down. I don't think he stood up since. I was telling Mick Dool was here, all the chairmen was here, what it was then. Mick Dool was here, and I was telling him, he said you wouldn't get 2 sandwiches for it now. Sort of, that changed times, huh?
They won the All-Ireland on 2 occasions. The first was in 1923, and we have a survivor from that team. He's 93 years old. His name is Jim Power.
Apart from a league win in 1932 and a Railway Cup success 15 years later, the 30s and 40s are best remembered for some heartbreaking defeats.
So the Railway Cup of '47 was played on the Easter Sunday, and a very remarkable thing happened that day. Number one, we led from almost the first minute, and Munster never caught up with us. And Munster that day scored only 1 goal and 1 point. And these were great. Jackie Power, Christy Ring, these 30 forwards now they had. So there was great expectations then for that team. That was one of the few occasions when Christy Ring, for example, was kept scoreless, playing on Bernie Power. He scored nothing that day. and the whole team scored only a goal and a point. And Sean Duggan was the captain of that team. He was the goalie, and he had a wonderful day. He allowed one goal, that's all. So there was great expectations then of that team. Everybody sort of said, how could a team, a county team, beat a star-studded Leinster team and a Munster team? So there was great hopes for the 47 team, for the semi-final. And it was a tremendously hot day now, I remember, in Burr, and it was described afterwards in one of the papers as the fiercest semi-final ever, because it was a really great game in 47. Now, it was messed up badly by the referee. The referee was a Tipperary man, and he told me afterwards that he kept the game going until he thought it was a draw. And in fact, he had marked the score wrong in his book, but we were a point down, and that was a heartbreak.
The 50s were much more productive, and the county was rewarded with a trip to America in 1951.
Well, it was the first trip I think a hurling team made since the great Tipperary teams of the early 30s, and there was fierce excitement in the county. That Galway had won the home final against Wexford and had qualified to play New York in October of that particular year, 51. It was the first time we were in the plane, I'm sure, most of the lads in the team and in the squad. And it took us, I think it was around 12 hours or something to get over there. We landed on the way over in Gander in Newfoundland, and then we touched down in New York the Thursday before we played the game. So they played New York in actually the Polo Grounds, which is gone now. It was knocked, and another big stadium was put there instead. Again, the New York game was a very exciting game. There was only, I think, 3 points in it at the end, and it took Galway the best part of the hour to push New York away. The mayor of New York gave us a reception on the steps of City Hall in New York, and the Meath team was with us that time as well. So the two teams were tagged in their outfits, Galway in their maroon and white, and Meath were in their green and white, and it was a great occasion. Well, we came back by transatlantic liner. It was the New Amsterdam, and I think it was 36 or 40,000 tons. And of course, we were never on a ship like that in our lives, and it was a wonderful experience. When we arrived in Cove, then we got a civic reception from the Mayor of Cork, and we were well received in Cork and coming back through Limerick actually as well. But when we reached the borders of Galway, there was a wonderful reception from the Galway people, and especially from the people of Gort. But when we reached Ardrahan, with all the luggage that was on top of the bus from the boys on the way back from America, the bus wouldn't go under the bridge. So of course we had to go back by Kinvara and come into Claren Bridge from Kinvara and into Galway. I remember very well when we reached the Cemetery Cross in Bohermore. There was thousands of people there with the bands and all that, and we came down Bohermore. And Kiplarty, of course, was captain of the team, and being a Bohermore man, they gave him a wonderful reception. One instance that stands out in my mind is the fact that when we reached Crow's pub in Bohermore, they had a big bonfire outside the shop, which is a pub, and that was so close to the house that it burned the paint off the front door, which was a great laugh at the time.
In 1953, Galway reached their first final in 24 years with a 1-point win over Kilkenny in the semi-final.
From early morning, the city stations disgorge thousands of people from all centres. They've come from the north, the south, the east and the west, and visitors from across the seas help swell the crowd, basking in a glorious sunshine to the all-time record of 71,195.
It was one of the finest games that were played in that decade, 1950 to 1960, one of the finest finals. There was only one equal to it, and that was the 1956 game between Cork and Wexford, having defeated Kilkenny in the semi-final. The first game, championship senior game that Galway won since 1929, in a quarter of a century, that match. And there was great expectations for the 53 All-Ireland, having beaten Kilkenny, a thing we hadn't done since 29. And the game was blow for blow right throughout the match. The striking did upset Galway for a little while, but not for very long now. And coming right to the very end, Galway was 1 point down. That's all. It was 1 point between the two teams. And the winning score was scored by Tom Sullivan, who was the rightful forward. And that was the end of the game. That was how that final was won.
Play swings to the railway end, and it's the turn of Galway to defend. Sean Duggan holds his fort well for the West, and the Munster men are repulsed. The interval over, Cork strive to increase their lead, but Galway, with Mickey Burke subduing the immortal Christy Ring, and each man giving his all, start an incessant bombardment on the Cork goal. Michael McInerney gets the ball outfield, and it's heading for the goal area. And with the defence beaten, it strikes the upright, rebounds into play, and soon has gone over the line wide. The bootless Josie Gallagher solos across the field. His shot just nicks his stick, and Vintumi comes to the rescue of Cork. And this is virtually the last attack by Galway, and Cork, hurling with verve, takes the top hand. Off with an Anawa Higkriftig, he's a Clishtag as math. A melee around the Galway goal, and Tom Sullivan crashes home a final goal, and seconds later the game is over, with Cork champions for the 18th time. Cork, 3 goals and 3 points, Galway, 8 points. The crowd surges onto the field in wild excitement, and soon Cork's idol and captain, Christy Ring, is on the Hogan stand to receive the coveted cup from GAA President Mr. Vincent Donohoe.
Watched by a record 77,000 people, Jimmy Duggan captained Galway against Wexford in the 1955 final.
Of course, you see, Wexford had played in the Leinster Championship, and they had 2 or 3 very hard matches, and then they played in the All-Ireland semi-final against, I think it was Tipperary, because we got a bye into that 55 final, which was very, very unusual.
And the boys of Wexford, Nick O'Donnell, Podge Keogh and the others, all keen to compensate for recent years' near misses. Almost from the start, Wexford attack. The pace is fast, the hurling keen. Nicky Racker gets a ground pass, pulls hard, and the ball shakes the net. Less than a minute later, Tim Flood sends over a Wexford point. Roundabout now, the people who viewed the final as a cakewalk for the Leinster men were having a wonderful time, but their joy was short-lived. Billy Duffy from a free has a Galway point, which instills new life into the Westerners. Here they come again, and Jimmy Burke and Paddy Egan combine to score a Galway goal. Billy Rackard is chased here. He swings the first time, he misses, he swings the second, and he gets it. Now it's Bobby Rackard clearing from Tim Sweeney. Johnny Malloy sends in a 70, and it's over the bar for a point for Galway. And here are some of the highlights of a second half in which Wexford wore down their rivals. Oh, the excitement of it all. A 21-yard free and another Nicky Rackard point. The Wexford men are on the victory march, but to show there's life in Galway, Mogan Duggan does likewise for them. It's all done by mirrors by these would-be onlookers. Joe Salmon loses his stick, but boots the ball, and to take it is Wexford's Jim Morrissey. They jump for joy, and the final whistle sounds with Wexford champions, 3 goals and 13 points to Galway's 2 goals and 8.
In 1958, Galway appeared in their 3rd final in 5 years.
Nearest to the camera are Tipperary, led by Tony Wall, while Cullinan heads the Galway contingent. Agus an son, Conadar Galair, Auron and Navian.
The second half of that match was a great game. A great, very good game. And it was blow for blow and ball for ball and score for score in the second half of that game. In the second half, Tipperary scored 5 points and Galway scored 1 goal and 2 points. They were level. But unfortunately, in the first half, we had let in 4 goals, and it was too much to make up. And that was that.
As referee Matt Spain threw in the ball at the start of the second half, it was obvious that Galway would have to improve immediately if they were to have any chance of overtaking the Munster champions. And although Tipperary took up the offensive again in the early stages, there was an indication of a Western comeback for a while, and Jim Fives got the first score of the second half from this free. And Galway continued to press, and despite the best efforts of John Doyle, first Sweeney, then full forward O'Neill, and then Lawless force their way through. But Jimmy Finn gets the ball downfield again to set another Munster attack in motion. Star Galway player Joe Salmon sends to Kelly. Kelly shoots goalwards, O'Grady blocks it down, but Conway goals and arouses hopes of a new Western resurgence. And so the match was over.
Galway's failure to make a significant breakthrough was blamed on the lack of first-round competition. A number of different options were proposed, including the open draw, joining Leinster, or forming a third province with Galway, Clare, Offaly and Westmeath. Discussions were also taking place with the Munster Council.
The meeting was arranged in Canon Hamilton's house in Nina, and I think it was probably January now, January, very early the year. And the delegates from the Munster Council came there, and we went there, 4 of us went there. And we sat down and talked, and then we said it would be better if we didn't put forward any motion at all to Congress. Let Munster put it forward, and then it was guaranteed success. Because Leinster delegates would say, well, if that's all right with Munster, it's all right with us. Ulster would vote for us anyway, and our own Connacht delegates would vote for us. So that was what happened. Munster put forward a motion inviting Galway in to play in the Munster Championship, in all grades.
Although the intermediate team won a Munster title, the senior team won just 1 championship game in that 11-year spell. Ironically, one of Galway's best performances was in the 1969 Railway Cup during the county's final year in Munster.
Blocked back by a Connacht man. It's Mick O'Connor playing centre field now instead of full forward. The ball has gone up loose there, waiting for his Paddy Fahey, 25 yards out. Being chased by Tony O'Brien, gets past Tony O'Brien, cutting in on the left, sending it across the goal mouth, and it's gone over the bar. John O'Donoghue's puck out is kept in for a moment by Noel Pine and then rolls out over the sideline, and just about halfway down the field it's a line ball for Connacht. Ted Murphy to take it. Ted cuts it beautifully, 40 yards out, sent on further by John Connolly. Going loose there in the far side of the field to Paddy Fahey. Paddy racing in, 21 yards out, it's a goal, it's a goal! It's a 22-yard free, 23 yards maybe for Munster. Jimmy Doyle taking it. It seems a formality. It is a formality. It's over the bar. So it's now 2-10 for Munster, 2-3 for Connacht, and 14 minutes, or very nearly 14, gone in the second half. One wonders, has the bolt been only a short one and that they've shot it already? Then Gaynor clearing it out for Munster. Sam Stanley outnumbered there. Beats John Flanagan though, gets the ball on for Connacht onto Mick O'Connor. Mick is 50 yards out, sends it in towards the goal. Dennis Murphy playing about with it on the ground there. It goes in further towards the goal from the stick of Paddy Fahey. John O'Donoghue saves the ball there. There's a great ruck in the goal mouth. It's in the net. It's a goal. It's a goal. Getting it onto Paddy Fahey, 60 yards out. Paddy trying to get past Lane Gaynor. He does. Trying to get past P.J. Ryan. He does. He's 40 yards out. Getting it to Des Cohn. Des not able to get hold of it. Willie Murphy does for Connacht. Sends it in. Paddy Fahey pulls the goal.
When I started off first with them in 67, it was just a matter of going out and almost playing the match. And training wasn't wasn't very intense, or in fact maybe no train at all in some cases. And it was probably because of lack of success year after year, and then it wasn't anybody's fault. It's just the way it just didn't seem worthwhile doing it.
John Connolly, centre fielder for Connacht, taking this 70. Strong breeze behind him. He's got the distance. It's gone over the bar. Another point for Connacht.
By the mid-60s, there was a strong belief in the county that more emphasis should be placed on underage hurling.
Well, Galway's strength over the last 20 years stemmed, I believe, from Galway County Board's response to Alf Murray's challenge when he set up Coiste Mana nationally, the hurling revival group, when Father Jack Solan, the late Father Jack Solan, who was chairman of the county board, set up a County Galway Coiste Mana. And they set about enthusiastically revitalising structures, or setting up new structures, putting them in place, and obviously schemes such as coaching schemes, the bringing of youngsters to Unspidgel, to Uncursa Gaeilge, that very first one, which also had a significant coaching input under Donny Nealon and many other fine coaches. All of that activity and the development of these various structures that were put in place over the last 20 years has resulted that we've had the success we've had, and I suppose in that perspective the first Coiste Mana drive led eventually to Galway Minors going through in 1970, and though defeated, continuing on, a significant number of those players continued on to land the county's first under-21 title in 1972.
Further improvements were made in the structure of hurling in the county with the formation of the Hurling Board in 1971.
Gerry Flaherty was chairman of the Galway County Board, and it was his brainchild, I suppose you call it, to set up the Galway Hurling Board. And without being biased, Anthony, I think since the foundation of the Galway Hurling Board, that Galway Hurling had gone from strength to strength. Prior to that, it was the hurling was ran by the Galway County Board. But the football board, way back in 1939 to 40, they set up a football board, and John Dunn and a lot of people, they were very successful with the football board. So Gerry Flaherty's brainchild, he set up the hurling board, and in 1971, and straight away in 1972, we won the under-21. It was our first breakthrough, our first victory in so many years.
For the final then, I remember we played Dublin, and that was in Limerick, and we had trained pretty hard for it, and we had a great team together for it, and it was a great achievement. We just about beat Dublin. Dublin were very good, they were very fit, and I was lucky enough to be captain of that team, so it was a great honour for me. It was a great pleasure, and the celebration afterwards was great. The sense of achievement afterwards was marvellous.
Former Galway hurler Frank Fahey was the board's first secretary.
There was little or no organisation as far as hurling was concerned when we arrived on the scene, and we had to approach this in a professional way. First of all, we realised that the players had to be looked after. Proper training procedures, proper hotels, proper hotel rooms, proper meals, and especially travelling. Travelling had to be organised and paid for in a professional way. It took at least 2 years to achieve this, and then when it did, I think that we found out that we were going places.
By 1975, the professional approach that masterminded the under-21 win was now being applied at senior level. With many of the under-21 winning side now on the senior team, Galway won Division 2 of the National League. They played Kilkenny in the league semi-final in Thurles.
Game 1 having a lot of trouble from this right corner forward of Galway's, Marty Barrett. An industrious, tenacious hurler, and this is Jerry Coon, who scored 2 points already. This shot from about 50 yards out. Jerry Coon there, and there's another point from Coon. So now there's only 1 point between them. Right half forward, Jerry Coon, the scorer of that one. Noel Skehan's puck out. Comes to Liam O'Brien. Liam's shot. Kieran Purcell. But Eddie Kerr has it. Eddie's shot broken down there and cleared away by Joe Clark, the fullback. Comes out to Eddie Kerr again. But Sean Silk is there all on his own. He's not on his own anymore. But he comes away, taps it nicely to Iggy Clark, and Iggy Clark breaks away. Now Liam O'Brien going over to him, but Iggy gets it nicely. Beautiful pass to PJ Malloy. Malloy's shot, and there's the equaliser. PJ Malloy, the left half forward, number 12,
A beautiful movement.
I just happened to remember one ball that I got in the half-back line, and I just broke away a little bit, and I sent it up to PJ Malloy, and I remember Pat Lawler almost stopped it with his hurling, but PJ just caught it and scored a great point.
But this is Pat Lawler, and he's robbed Sean Murphy. John Connolly for Galway. What a fantastic game this semi-final is. Tom McCormick, Pat Delaney, but it's John Connolly now stamping his greatness on midfield for Galway. And this is PJ Qualter, who's out on the 40 to PJ Malloy, number 12. PJ shot dropping just outside the square. Broken away, Pádraig Fahey running for it. And Van Larkin, Fahey's got it in his hands. Dropping it back to PJ Malloy. Malloy shot, and it's a point. Kilkenny 3 points behind, and they've only 3 minutes to go, and this is Iggy Clark for Galway. And that's Frank Burke grabbing it out of the air, getting it across to PJ Qualter, who sends it to Jerry Coon. Number 10, Jerry Coon. And that's a point. That's a point for Galway. 4 points again ahead. Seconds left, and Galway are almost certainly into the National League final for the first time since 1951. Sean Silk for Galway, but time has run out now for Kilkenny. We're gone over the 60 minutes as Liam O'Brien takes this line ball, and there are 3 points between them, and that's John Connolly, and that's it. Galway are the winners. And what a fantastic display by this confident, superbly fit Galway team.
Yeah, we came down here today to win. We had it in our head. If Flaherty had driven into us, I think that this was it. We either make it this year or we don't. And I think every one of us felt that way going out. We were going to take our own man, hurl him up the field, and we did just that.
You weren't a bit overawed by Kilkenny's reputation as All-Ireland champions?
No, I don't think. We kind of felt coming back from America they wouldn't be as sharp as they usually are, and I think that proved quite true as well. You know?
Because you were tremendously fit and very fast. Obviously you've put a lot of training into the preparation for this semi-final.
Yeah, the team has trained very hard, but I think coming out of the second division we have a lot to play for, and then our victory over Cork really built us up, and now we feel that we can go the whole way.
Well, since you do mention the second division, you know, you didn't show any signs that you regarded yourselves as complete outsiders.
We didn't play actually very well at all in the second division, even Offaly beat us, but I think the bigger the team, the more we try, you know, and I think from centre field back we're probably the best team in the country, and that's what stood to us here today. They didn't get any chance for a shot at goal, we didn't give them any chance, we played man for man all the way down the field, and that's what really stood to us.
Yeah, I think this was the most impressive thing about you, especially in the defence where you were outstanding yourself, and in the other five which you gave the Kilkenny forwards no movement at all, or no freedom.
Yeah. But that's the thing you find about Kilkenny, that if you don't stick man for man with them, if you let one Kilkenny man loose, that's it as far as this game is concerned. So we came out, we said one man, one, and we just did that, you know.
After a gap of 24 years, Galway were back in a league final with Tipperary as the opposition.
Frank Murphy, Cork County Secretary and referee, starting the 75 National Hurling League final, and that's Tipperary. Seamus Hogan on the attack from the throw-in, but it's broken up by the Galway fullback Joe Clark. That's a free for Galway, and that's Iggy Clark, the left half-back. And he's leaving it to Sean Silk, the man with the helmet. Coming out, placing it for himself. And the Galway free. Frank Burke going up for it, beats him. And he gets it into PJ Qualter across. This is Marty Barrett. And Marty can't get to it. That's a goal by John Connolly. John Connolly, the midfielder, way down in the square to snap that one up. A goal for Galway, and a great start for Galway. So Seamus Hogan taking the line balls and the frees from around the centre of the field. This one on the ground into Jim Kehoe. Jim can't get it in his hand in a jump, so it breaks to Sean Murphy. Sean Murphy for Galway, meant for Marty Barrett. He gets it into his hand. Then he gets round Jack Bergen. Lost it but regains possession. Loses it again. Jack Bergen clears it away. Comes to Jerry Coon. And that's Jack Dunley. for Tipperary, and getting the applause from the Tipperary fans. Francis Murphy into Tommy Butler. Tommy Butler gets it into his hand, nicely chipped up into his hand. Butler shot, and it's a goal. It's a goal by Pat Quinlan. Pat Quinlan, the right corner forward, doubling on that shot from Tommy Butler for a goal to put Tipperary back in the lead. And it's Sean Silk with the beard and the helmet to take the free. And a good long one it is from Sean Silk. But broken down by Noel O'Dwyer. Pulled on there by P.J. Malloy. Beautifully doubled off the ground by P.J. Malloy for a splendid point for Galway to put them into the lead. Galway leading 1 goal and 2 points to Tipperary's 1 goal and 1. The puck out, dropping way beyond midfield. P.J. Malloy, the left half forward, way back on the half back line. Sending that to Frank Burke, and Burke belting it down into parallelogram. It's in the back of the net, and it's knocked in by Marty Barrett. Right corner forward, look at him running out there, calmly doubled on from Frank Burke into the back of the net by the right corner forward, Marty Barrett. Down there to Liam King, the other right corner back, who's playing very well in this league final. Pulled on by Francis Murphy for chip. This is Roger Ryan, the full forward. Gets in his shot, and it's a goal. No, it's a goal from Roger Ryan, the big full forward and opportunist. Doubling that one from an angle for Tipperary's second goal. The puck out from Michael Keneally, breaking to Sean Silk. What a National League final this has turned out to be in the last few minutes. This is Pádraig Fahey for Galway, and that's from a difficult angle, almost near the end line. Pádraig Fahey, look at him there. 2 goals and 6 points up to today, and that's 2 goals and 7 with that angled point for Galway. Francis Lucknan taking it up for Tipperary. Swerving around and crossing it over. This is John Connolly back for Galway. The midfielder back near his own full back line and clearing that away with a great delivery. Coming to Pádraig Fahey, he sends it further in, so does P.J. Malloy. And this is Marty Barrett, can he pull on it? And it's in the goal, it's a goal! Marty Barrett has scored for Galway. Jimmy Duggan picking it out of the back of the net, it bounced off his hurley. And that's a goal for Marty Barrett. That's his second in this league final. Jimmy Duggan with the puck out for Tipperary. That's Seamus Hogan, but this is coming to Joe McDonough for Galway. Low to Marty Barrett. Marty doubles on it. Gets it to Frank Burke, who was injured a few minutes ago. He's okay now. Look at him going through. Frank Burke with a splendid point. A good solo run by Frank Burke. And a splendid point. He was the man that scored a so important goal against Kilkenny in the semi-final. Broken away by Jim Kehoe, but it's coming to Sean Silk, the centre half-back. Now Sean being hustled by Jim Kehoe, but gets his puck in, and it's a splendid point for the equaliser. That's the equaliser from centre half-back Sean Silk after an enterprising dash down the field. This is Pat Quinlan for Tipperary. John Flanagan, who's gone back into the corner. Iggy Clark pulling on it. Niall McInerney, it's a goal! It's a goal by Tommy Butler. Tommy Butler, as the Galway defence was very, very slow and hesitant. Too casual with that one. The puck out by Michael Keneally. And this is Frank Burke again for Galway. Now can he do something to save the game? And it's a good point. Now there's only 3 points between them again as Frank Burke sends that one over for Galway. Jimmy Duggan pucking out. 3 points between them and 6 minutes to go. That's P.J. Malloy. But this is not Noel O'Dwyer. This is P.J. Malloy again, belting it downfield for Galway. Full forward P.J. Qualter in there, but it's knocked out by the fullback Jim Kehoe. And this comes to P.J. Malloy, and that's a point for Galway. Now we've only got 2 between them. And this is Iggy Clark coming down from the half-back line to take it. And it's a splendid one in towards the square, pulled on by John Connolly. But it's a free in. A foul on by the Tipperary defence. Frank Murphy very quickly following up there. A foul on full forward PJ Qualter, number 14 on his back there, and John Connolly there beside the referee. So this is a great chance for Galway to pull back to 1 point, and John Connolly himself to take it. He's the captain, number 9 on his back. Is he going for a goal? He's making a run for it, and it's been blocked. He went for the goal, but it's in the net. PJ Qualter has scored for Galway, number 14 there. And here's John Connolly again. To Marty Barrett, and it's all over. It's all over. Galway are the National League champions, their 3rd National League title, and the first in 24 years.
Whatever I said about 69, the Railway Cup final, 75 was even a bigger step, and playing Tip, of course, then as well added to it. It was marvellous to win it, and I remember we got a 21-yard free late in the game, and somebody said to me afterwards they saw myself and PJ Qualter talking and working out something, but I don't ever remember us saying anything, but I blasted anyway 21-yard free, and it was saved, and PJ, being the great poacher that he was there on hand to bang it in, and that was the decisive score, I would say. But it was a marvellous occasion that day to win a cup with Galway, like a National League Cup, was and to see the crowds and the out in front of us and all the way home, and it was the start of a great year, because we went on to further things that year as well, but that 75 league final was a marvellous tonic.
Who's made this possible. He was full forward and the captain in 1951 when they last won the National League title. Now he's the team manager who's instilled such confidence and self-assurance into this side. And as much as any of the 15 on the field, he's been responsible for this 3rd National League title. The great Inky Flaherty.
Inky Flaherty was part and parcel of Galway hurling for so many years. First of all, he was a wonderful player. He was an All-Ireland referee. He was club referee, he was everything. And then he went on to a pitch room. He was members of the East Board, members of the County Board, members of Connacht Council. Inky was everything, and everything was good about Inky. Then he was a selector and trainer on the team that made the big breakthrough in 75. And it was Inky's belief, he firmly believed, and he put that belief into them. So Inky Flaherty, it's a shame that he never won the All-Ireland medal, which is so richly deserved. But no matter where I go to, that'll be Connacht Council, Cork Park, or anything, Inky Flaherty is spoken very highly of.
Well, Inky's contribution to Galway hurling, and particularly the development of Galway hurling during the 70s, was very significant, in that he got a young team, a mixture of old and new, in fact, or a new team together. First and foremost, he established a family atmosphere and a camaraderie within the team, whereby all of the club divisions were left to one side, as had been the case previously. And I suppose his most significant contribution was his installation of a self-belief, a newfound self-belief in the team, which dispelled this inferiority complex that we had going out against the more traditional and stronger teams like Cork, Tipperary, Kilkenny, etc. I think that was his single biggest contribution, allied to his enormous charisma and his tremendous relationship with the players.
Following their league win, a large crowd of Galway supporters followed the team to Croke Park for the All-Ireland semi-final against Cork.
And this is Galway coming on the attack. Jerry Coon, their right half forward, chased by Conroach. Being tackled by Con. Still Jerry Coon in possession. Lobs it in the full forward, PJ Qualter there. And it's a great point by PJ. Full forward there, the oldest man on the team on the field today, PJ Qualter, giving Galway the lead there with a very quick point. Dennis Allen. That's Gerald McCarthy. And this is Sean Leary, shot blocked by Niall McInerney and blocked again. McInerney gets it down to Pádraig Fahey. A very nice pass to Frank Burke, and this is Galway on the attack, a goal! What a fantastic start for Galway. Murphy. This is Teddy O'Brien for Cork. John Connolly robbed him. And John still going through. Robs Brian Murphy. John on his own. Brian Murphy with him now. John turning, and that's a goal! Oh, he just walked it in. John Connolly there, a former Carroll's All-Star. And this is Jimmy Barry Murphy. Willie Walsh to big Ray Cummins. Ray getting across to Jimmy Barry Murphy. This is dangerous. Jimmy Barry picks off a point. A quick point from the right half forward there. Jimmy Barry Murphy closing the gap, and that's the first one for Cork after nearly 9 minutes. So Michael Keneally's puck out. Sent down by Conrose. Paddy Lally chasing for there. Charlie McCarthy with him. Paddy Lally gets it out to Iggy Clark. And Iggy belting it away down the field. And this is Pádraig Fahey nipping in for it. Still Pádraig Fahey, and that's PJ Qualter. And that's another goal! Number 8 is Gerald. And it's a penalty. There's only 3 of them in the net, and Gerald has a go for a goal. It's stopped by Michael Keneally, and it's cleared out by a defender. A great stop by the goalkeeper there, but Sean Leary coming in from the left. Swings it into the centre. And this is Dennis Allen. And that's Jimmy Barry Murphy with a goal. Oh, nicely passed to Barry Murphy by Dennis Allen. There's Jimmy Barry there. Great opportunism in this Cork attack. Now there's only 6 points between them. Justin McCarthy in there giving a congratulatory swig of the bottle to Jimmy Barry. And Galway still leading as they have been right through this half, and that's Willie Walsh. Michael Keneally, look at that for self-confidence, jumping out there to grab that. And then charging with it, Mick Spain, a disgusted Michael Keneally there after that great save and great jump. Mick Spain, the referee, judging that he had charged out with the ball, so it's a free hit. And Mick Spain is ordering them all out, bar the 3 for the penalty. So it's Michael Keneally, Joe Clark and Niall McInerney in the net. And this is Gerald McCarthy with his shot, and Michael Keneally has stopped it again. That's the second penalty he's saved. And this is Sean Murphy coming away. Could Galway be stopped in form like this? Frank Burke belting it downfield. And PJ Qualter taking it up. And PJ's point. And we're now 2 minutes over the 35, and there's half-time as Galway lead by 3 goals and 7 points to Cork's 1 goal and 6. And remember, Galway have never beaten Cork in the championship. And the second half about to start. That's Michael Connolly way over there in as a sub for Galway. And for Cork, Dennis Burns, number 20, and the second half has started. And this is Sean Murphy, who's had a splendid game at midfield for Galway. Galway with the win this time. Playing into the goal on our left. Sean Murphy being robbed there by Gerald McCarthy. Dennis Allen getting it down to Sean Leary. Now can Cork come back? They're 7 points behind, and now they're only 6 behind with that point from left corner forward, Sean Leary. Sean Silk sending it back for Galway, and this is Frank Burke doubling on it nicely to Michael Connolly. He's just got the last point. And now Michael has got another one. What a start to the second half for that sub there, stretching their lead. So Jerry Coon has been taking all the close-in frees, having a go with this one, and sending it into the net. Deflected in from that man, Jerry Coon, for Galway's 4th goal. This is Frank Burke. John Horgan with him. Frank's nice pass to Pádraig Fahey. And Pádraig Fahey, shot gone over for a point. And there's the man who gave it to him. Pádraig Fahey, the scorer. So Conroach to take it. Will he drop it short in the hopes the forwards can get a goal, or will he take the point? And Con has often got points from 70s like this. He's dropping it short. And my goal kick's gone into the net. Oh, it's gone into the net. Goalkeeper Michael Conneely got his stick to it. But it went into the net. They're leading by 1 point. And even if they put this wide, it doesn't matter, because the time is up and John Connolly to take it. Time is up and Galway look to be on their way to the All-Ireland final against Kilkenny. And there's a John Connolly shot from the 70. And it's a point, it's a point. They're now 2 points ahead. And we're 45 seconds overtime. John Connolly the scorer there. And the referee looking at his watch. Mick Spain looking at that watch. Martin Coleman puck, it's all over, it's all over. And look at that for ecstasy on the Galway team. They're gone mad with delight. They're into the All-Ireland final, the first time since 1958.
But Sean, now that the match is all over, how do you feel?
It's terrific to be back. It's terrific to win. It's terrific to come to Grove Park as outsiders and win. To win, to hold a Cork team who won so well in the Munster finals. A team who had all the stars. A team who, because they're out of the football, now feel that the hurling was everything to them. And when Cork come to Grove Park, they mean to win. Today, they just didn't win.
The prediction for the All-Ireland final?
I think we still can win.
Galway really got off to a flying start that day, and I think there were 3 goals and 2 points up before we actually got our first score. And we did fight our way back into the game, and I can remember vividly, probably one of the turning points in that game was a save that our goalkeeper Martin Coleman made, and he was coming out with the ball when the referee blew for a foul. Now, at that stage of the game, there was about 2 minutes to go, and we had the lead down to 1 point only, but the referee blew for a free, and we were all hoping it was a free out for a foul on Martin, but the referee gave a free in, and Galway tapped it over the bar, so that was 2 points, and the whistle went after that. But that certainly was a great game, and there were great clashes that time, I think, in general between Cork and Galway, and we had some problems with Galway in that probably the greatest problem we had was that our supporters really didn't rate Galway as a hurling power at that time. And the second one was that the Galway players that time were really an excellent bunch of players, some really great players, Iggy Clark, the Conleys, PJ Malloy, Noel Lane. They had some tremendous players playing then, and you know, they certainly were top class. But as I say, our problem a lot of the time was that our supporters really didn't rate Galway, with the result that they refused to travel to the games. And coming out of Munster, where we would probably have 60,000 people at the matches, we'd play Galway in a semi-final with 10 or 12,000 people, and they all shouting for Galway, so it was just that bit more awkward for us, really.
For a team that had been beaten in the All-Ireland quarter-final by London just 2 years before, the fairy tale story of 1975 was still going according to plan. Indeed, some sports writers had the county installed as favourites against an experienced Kilkenny side, which included a number of players with 3 All-Ireland medals each.
And the game is on, and it's Kilkenny first to break away. Chunky O'Brien, but Iggy Clark intercepts over the side of the field now. This is Frank Cummins for Kilkenny. John Connolly tapping down nicely. Ball just won't come up. Hit away over the far side by Joe McDonough. This is P.J. Malloy. And P.J. shot it high, and it's over the bar. P.J. Malloy coming across from the far side of the field, getting that ball into the centre and sending it over without any doubt whatsoever. Kilkenny 2 points, Galway 2. That's Tom McCormack, the left half back, who's come over to take it. Kieran Purcell. Michael Brennan going through with the shot now. And oh, a great save! Oh, a great save by Michael Keneally. Oh, what a brilliant, brilliant save it was. It is a 70, but here's the shot again. Look how he got to it. Deflected it out and lifted himself right off the ground in doing it. What a save. And I think everybody in the place would go in and pat him on the back the way he saved that one. At 70, it was deflected over the end line, but by heavens, what a save. Pat Henderson coming up to take it on the 70-yard line. High and straight over the bar. A point for Kilkenny, a point for Pat Henderson to make it Kilkenny 3 points, Galway 2, and almost 15 minutes gone in the first half. That is a free for Galway from their own 50-yard line. Sean Silk to take it. And what a belt on that ball. P.J. Qualter gets it into his hand. Across to Frank Burke in front of the goal. Frank a shot, the goal! A goal! There it is, there's the man, and let's see how he did it. Here's the ball, a crack, a shot, and into the back of the net. Line ball for Kilkenny, just inside their own 70, and Pat Lawler to take it. Galway 1 goal and 3 points, Kilkenny 4 points, 6 points to 4. Billy Fitzpatrick, the captain of the team, one of the 21-year-olds on it. Getting it in, and a shot that's gone over the bar. A point by Michael Crotty. A point by Mick Crotty, moved in, as I say, to right corner forward. No dilly-dallying, no time for any elaboration here today. You get the ball, you hit the ball. We're in the closing 3 minutes of this first half. Kilkenny leading by 1 point. This is Eddie Kerr, and now they lead by 2 points as Eddie snapped that one over to send it over, his second score of the game. Liam O'Brien must have heard what I said a moment ago. There he goes with the ball stuck to his hurley. Just look at it. And the referee penalises Galway for a tackle on the incoming Liam O'Brien, and there is a free in for Kilkenny. What a run from his own 50-yard line to the inside the 21-yard line, and here is a free to be taken by Eddie Kerr on the 21. And Eddie sends it high and over the bar to make the score now 9 points to Kilkenny. Galway 1 goal and 3 points, and we make it less than 2 minutes left in this first half.
I remember, I suppose from Kilkenny's point of view, the fact that Galway had beaten him in the league put us on notice that this team was a team to be reckoned with. We realised, having been beaten in Thurles by Galway, that they were quite a good team and certainly weren't one to be taken for granted. Galway probably were a little bit favourites coming into the game. The press, I think, built them up as favourites, particularly after their league performance. And I suppose as well as that, Kilkenny had been in a number of All-Irelands on the trot, and probably people thought that they were gone maybe a little bit over the top. But I suppose the experience of Kilkenny on the day was a vital factor. I think that at half-time, I remember a number of us getting together and identifying some of the problems that we were having. We're certainly having problems up front. I think we're probably getting a little bit dug in with the Galway backs. We weren't opening it up enough. And in the second half, I think the quality of ball that we delivered was a bit better, and the forwards opened it up a bit more, and I think we got 2 vital goals which turned the game.
10 points to 6 in favour of Kilkenny. Mickey Clark. Oh, lovely fielding there by Brian Cody. What a wonderful young hurler he is. And here comes Michael Crotty now. And this is Eddie Kerr, and that's the goal. Eddie Kerr in the right spot for the pass that came his way. There it is, the shot, and nobody could have saved it. It's now 110 to 1-3 in favour of Kilkenny. Can Galway come back now? Michael Crotty takes another shot and it's over the bar for another point. And all this with less than 4 minutes gone in the second half. P.J. Qualter pulls on it, but no, out it comes now to John Connolly. John shot a hopping, dangerous ball. Qualter takes a shot and it's a goal! It's a goal! It's a goal! P.J. Qualter! P.J. Qualter was the one who finished it. Here it comes in from John Connolly. Goes up in the air. P.J. Qualter goes up for it, taps it down, and it's in the net. And this time it's Pat Lawler beating P.J. Malloy. Michael Brennan. Iggy Clark. Pat Lawler. Dearden Purcell. Nick Crotty trying to get it in. Pat Lally trying to get it out. Eddie Kerr getting it into his hand. And out comes Sean Silk. Galway aren't licked yet, as they say. And Sean Silk on soloing way up the field. 3 Kilkenny men, 4, make it 5, and then 5th is Pat Henderson. Up to John Connolly. John Connolly, 30 yards out. It's high, and it's gone over the bar. John Connolly going through with that one, and what a wonderful move it was. Kilkenny 1 goal and 12, Galway 2 goals and 5, 15 points to 11, and about 9 minutes gone in the first half. The dropping ball and the waiting man. Liam O'Brien shot is high and it's over the bar to increase the Kilkenny lead once again. Liam O'Brien making it 113 to 2-5. That's Dearden Purcell. And this is Pat Delaney with the ball. He takes a shot and the goalkeeper's got it out. He's got it out. And here's it out the free. Doesn't matter what happens now. It's another penalty. Eddie Kerr sent that one in, but there was another penalty. What a save that was. And here it is. It's pretty near the end line. It's scooped out, and now Eddie Kerr is just going to take the free. Standing over the ball. Here it comes. This time it's gone. It's a goal. Eddie Kerr the scorer. Eddie Kerr the scorer. And Mick Lanigan and Johnny McGovern and the Kilkenny mentors delighted with what they see and what they hear, because there goes the full-time whistle. And Kilkenny have won the All-Ireland final, have won their 20th All-Ireland title. And the Galway men congratulating them, man for man, swapping jerseys, and a general air of utter delight in the Kilkenny camp.
We played a very, very good Kilkenny team who wanted to confirm that they were a superior team by winning 2 in a row. They had exclusive forwards. They had the Purcell, Delaney, Billy Fitzpatrick. They had Kerr in the corner, and they had very, very good backs. As well, we went into the final as underdogs. It was Galway's first time in a final since the 1950s. It was the first 70-minute final. And in 1975, we'd had a long season from the previous autumn, when we decided we wanted to win the league so we could launch the championship very well. And on the day, I would say the final reason why we were beaten was that we spent a lot of our time attempting to negate the Kilkenny team rather than settling down to play our own game.
A newly refurbished Porky Creven Cork was the setting for 2 epic encounters in the 76 All-Ireland semi-final between Galway and Wexford on 2 consecutive Sundays.
To Mick Jacob. Wexford on the attack. Tony Dorn out under that. Gets it into his hands, and it's a great goal by Dorn. Oh, what a splendid turn from the full forward. Well caught by Frank Burke, and a nice pass to Joe McDonough. And Joe McDonough cutting way down the centre all on his own. Ned Buggy coming to tackle him now. Joe McDonough, the right half back, with the equaliser. A daring, adventurous run by the right half back after getting the pass from Frank Burke. Mick Butler breaking it down. Martin Quigley. Martin in trouble. Sean Silk in his way. Martin to his brother John. Cut off by Niall McInerney. This is Mick Butler for Wexford. This could be dangerous. Frank Larkin lets it through. Oh, good goal. It was a probing shot by Mick Butler. It looked as if Frank Larkin had it covered, but it bounced over his stick from the man with the helmet, Mick Butler. Colm Doran, the centre half back for Wexford. Martin Quigley. Mick Butler. He has three Galway men around him. Now this is a chase between John Murphy and Iggy Clark. Iggy Clark swerving back nicely to get it. That's Tony Doran for Wexford. To Mick Butler, a shot from Butler, and it's off the upright and in the net. Tony Doran, the man with the red hair there, who was out in the right corner, got possession, came in along the end line and passed it into Mick Butler, whose shot rebounded off the post and into the net. So Wexford back in the lead again, 3 goals and 4 points to Galway's 11 points. And certainly the trend of the game fluctuating here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. This is Joe Connolly for Galway. Joe charging through and taking his point, a wise decision at this stage. Martin Quigley breaking away from Sean Silk. Still Martin Quigley. Shot blocked by Iggy Clark. This is Tony Doran. Tony Doran going all the way through, and he's hand passed it in the net. Tony delighted with himself. He did the same thing in the Leinster final.
On the day of the Leinster final, we probably maybe hit a peak for that year, that we beat Kilkenny by 17 points. And trying to beat Kilkenny after failing so often in the years previous. We started off very slowly. Galway were picking off points from all angles. I think they went something like 8-2 or 9-2 or something like that up. And we came back and we got a couple of goals and got back. And it was sort of from there on, it was nip and tuck nearly the whole way. Galway got a sort of a half chance in the closing stage. I can remember Joe Connolly getting a ball out on the wing and he just led in across the goal, a sort of low. I'd say the same Joe Connolly 4 or 5 years later would have stuck it over the bar.
Ned scored a goal and 2 points in the game last week, and already he scored a goal and a point in today's game. And a nice one in Andy Fenton under pressure, but going with the ball. Being chased by Christy Keogh and by Mick Butler. Oh, that pull there in the centre of the field, not like Frank Burke, but the ball comes down now to Christy Keogh. Up to Tony Doran. Tony with the ball in his hand again. Another low, hard shot. And it's a goal for Tony Doran. Tony Doran crashing that one into the right corner of the net. And once again, the Wexford captain has proved the big problem for Galway. Mick Jacob. And Tony Doran now at the ball. Into John Quigley. John Quigley in front of the goal. He's on the 14-yard line. He's working his way through. And the referee had blown his whistle way back. The referee had blown his whistle way back. And what he's given the goal. The referee had blown his whistle way back and then ran up and signaled to the umpires, put up the flag, and it is a goal. 3 goals and 5 points for Wexford, 6 points for Galway.
The second day, I feel that we had a slight edge on Galway. I thought the whole time now that there were a few instances in the second day that could have changed the match either one way or the other. We got maybe a questionable goal in the first half. We've heard about it lots of times since John Quigley scored a goal after the whistle was gone for a free and the referee allowed the goal. But against that, I think Galway got one in the second half where it was PJ Malloy sent in a ball from the wing and PJ Qualter seemed to be well into the square when he knocked it into the net. So I think those things balance one another out.
Line ball for Galway. 55 yards out from the Wexford goal. Jerry Coon to take it. PJ Malloy. And it's a goal! It's a goal! A lovely goal by PJ Qualter. Oh, a lovely goal! PJ Qualter, the scorer. And the referee in with Willie Murphy, who had something to say there. But a very nicely taken goal as P.J. Malloy went up along the right wing, sent it in. P.J. Walter, who wasn't a million miles away from the parallelogram, let me add, sending that one into the net, and the score is now 16-15 in favour of Wexford. 3-7 to 1-12, and that man Jordan with the ball, trying to get upfield, but beaten this time by Niall McInerney. Niall coming out now. Joe McDonough, or Sean Silk, I should say. This is Joe Connolly, and Galway are really awake now. Joe Connolly going through. He's on the 21. It must be the equaliser. He's kicked it over the bar and it's level. The sides are level. Galway 113, Wexford 3-7. Ian Bennett into the centre, and here come Galway now as a moving through effort by Michael Connolly. And now Jerry Coon, the behind of Jim Prendergast, out to Michael Connolly again. And the ball up now to Malloy, and a goal! And the sides are level. There he is, P.J. Malloy, after a whole series of passes, and it's 20 points apiece. And here's Frank Burke. And Willie Murphy misjudges this one. It comes up along the wing. And it's P.J. Malloy going through. Teddy O'Connor is after him. He steadies himself. He takes his shot. And a great save by John Nolan. Oh, what a save. Save by John Nolan. And is he delighted? And is he every reason to be? As 70 for the Galway men. 5 yards to the left of the goal on the right. Sean Silk to take it. A week ago, a point was enough to draw level. Today, it must be a goal. There's his shot. It's kept in play, and the game is over. The game is over, and Wexford have won. Wexford have won by 1 goal. 3 goals and 14 points to Galway's 2 goals and 14. And I think people will remember until Kingdom Come that wonderful save of John Nolan in the dying seconds of that game.
Tasty and tempting food and super